All right, folks. So here it is, Warhammer Plus. As everybody knows, it is about $6 American every month, and as of now, which is 4 days after launch, this is the entirety of the content that we have. Now, the cool part about this is that we know that we are at least going to see new content weekly in the form of Hammer and Bolter and Angels of Death. So you're at least going to get 8 new episodes between two different shows every month. The master classes, don't know the frequency those are going to drop. And of course, you got the cinematics that we've seen from the teaser trailers for all three of their main, what are going to be their main product lines going forward. You do get some battle reports in both flavors of 40K and Age of Sigmar. And you do get some learn to play videos that they currently have in their ranges. And then you get some of the old school color guides. In addition, you get application access to the 40K app. You get vault access to a bunch of old white dwarfs and whatnot through your phone. So that's pretty cool. So overall, that's the app. To talk a little bit about the content so far, let's start with Angels of Death, Blood and Duty. Now, I think it's a pretty cool show. I think it has a lot of promise. It's like a film noir style, which is pretty much black and white with a little hint of the Sin City aspect to it, where they single out particular colors. In this case, because it's Blood Angels, anything that would be red is colored red and everything else is black and white. The animation is done well. The character design is done pretty well. There is just a hint of an issue with lip sync as far as the mouth movement to the voice acting. But other than that, I think it's going to be a really cool series. I'm looking forward to further episodes of that. Hammer and Bolter, I found really interesting personally. It very much reminded me of Love and Robots from Netflix as far as the mini episodic stories that have really nothing to do with the next story in the series. These are all little like 15 to 20 minute episodes about a particular subject matter. There are currently 3 episodes at launch. One of the episodes was the free preview regarding Old Baelai or Commissar Yarrick and his kind of backstory and his rivalry with Ghazghkull Thraka. I thought was pretty entertaining. It's done in a kind of a goofy, what we consider orcish way, which was a nice touch. One of them, based on the picture here, one of them is based on an Inquisitor and his exploits. And the second one is actually an interesting story about one of the members of the Imperial Church. So I won't give any spoilers or anything. I personally think it's worth it. I think the animation is pretty well done. There is a little tiny bit of chop to it, like perhaps some of the in-betweening wasn't done. So for those not familiar with animation, you have keyframes and then you have the in-betweening. And the keyframes are like the major I want to say every couple seconds or every couple major frames, and then the in-betweeners go in and fill in the difference in motion between, say, frame 1 and frame 5. You'd have in-betweeners do frame 2, 3, and 4. Keyframers, it seems like they skipped maybe a couple of the in-betweens, like their walk cycles are a little bit choppy and things like that, but that's just the style of animation it is. As far as the drawing, I would liken it to probably something along the lines of Castlevania on Netflix. That style, the heavy line work and facial features and things like that. Very stylized, but I enjoyed the show. The master classes that you get at launch is, as you can see here, one of them is painting faces. It's pale skin. Very well done, and actually it surprised me a bit in regards to utilizing some methods not kind of GW-ish. I mean, if you go back to the old Duncan Road stuff, there wasn't a lot of talk about the difference between blending and layering and glazing and using a wet palette. I mean, something as crazy as using a wet palette, they jump right in with this on your wet palette, it'll help. So I thought it was kind of refreshing that they're kind of going outside their normal box of used products that we don't exclusively sell type of thing. Now, they didn't particularly endorse any form of wet palette, but the fact that they're talking about a wet palette either means that they realize that, it's kind of an essential tool, or they've got one in development that they're going to be launching pretty soon. The other paint masterclass you get is a class specifically on blending, and they're both done very well. They're explained well. The demo and technique is kind of explained well, is very explained pretty well as far as where things should lie and how you should do things. The wet blending technique they use is single brush. It's not dual brush, so it's kind of a good intro wet blending scenario. And they actually mention, use big flat things first to practice, like cardstock or your wargaming bases, things like that. And then once you kind of get that down, then apply that to your models. So they do a couple different forms of wet blending, contrasting colors, cooperative colors, and then tone. So like from a black to a white using grayscale, a red and an orange, and then extremes like purple and yellow. So I thought it was done very well. Now, you'll have to forgive me for not clicking into anything here because I don't want to get flagged or banned or anything like that. So I don't want to give it or spoil anything for, that may be in here for subs. But yeah, that's Warhammer Plus. Bottom line is, do I think you should get it? I enjoy it. I think I am going to enjoy it. I mean, there's other benefits that I'm not listing here. Like I mentioned earlier, you get access to the 40K app, so you can use your phone and get to the main rulebook and things like that. You get access to older White Dwarves and painting articles and things like that. I was a huge White Dwarf guy before they went to the new format with the bigger scale magazines and whatnot. So it's kind of cool for me to reminisce a little bit about that and see some old Golden Demon entries and scenarios like that. You also get the exclusive miniature, right? So after a year of payment, so you for $70, $72, effectively what it will come down to after you do your year-long subscriptions. $59, I think, if you pay for the whole year up front. You get your exclusive miniature in the form of the Orruk or the Vindicare Assassin in the Celestine statue. So those are pretty cool. I'm personally going for the Vindicare Assassin. I think it's a cooler model. It has more character in it to me. But yeah, to each their own. I'd say if you're into it, I mean, for $5.99, you're at least going to get 8 episodic shows to watch that are about 20 minutes each. So you're going to get, 2 hours of content minimum a month from these two, Blood and Duty and Death's Hand. They have a slew of new animations coming out in the form of Astartes 2 and a couple of Age of Sigmar specific ones and things like that coming. So that content is on deck. Hopefully it's sooner rather than later, so it enhances the reasons for you to subscribe to Warhammer Plus. But we'll see what happens. You're also going to get access to the Age of Sigmar app when it launches. They hit a little bit of a delay bump, so I think it's been pushed to the end of September now. So if that's the reason you're going to join, I would say hold out for that. At this point, the only Age of Sigmar content on the site is the cinematic trailer for AOS 3.0 and this battle report. So nothing in Hammer and Bolter. I believe it is going to go both directions, 40k and Age of Sigmar, which is why it's called Hammer and Bolter, duh. But they are going to have AOS content on there at this point. With the 3 episodes that are on there, they all are 40k related. So the one thing I will say is if you're remotely considering subscribing for the Age of Sigmar content, that is one thing you're going to be disappointed with, as it's very light in that regard to date. And like I said, at time of recording, it's 8/27, August 27th. So it's the week of launch. So after a couple weeks, I'm sure a lot of us will throw up, it's been a month, here's where we're at type of reviews. But at this point, I think it's safe to say that if you like 40k or if you just like animation in general, it's not a bad sub. The master classes are cool. Can you get these online, the master classes on YouTube from other people? Sure, you could. I mean, duh. Why not? Is the content good? Yeah, I think it is. And some of the battle reports are about an hour. They're pretty decent. The learn to play stuff is kind of cool if you're a visual learner versus a reading learner. I think that it may be worth it. So go out there and subscribe. What do you got to lose? I mean, at $5.99 a month, if you don't like it after a month or you don't think that they're putting out as much content as they should, cancel. You spent $6. At any rate, guys, it's kind of a hot take. I know it's a shoddy edited video. I just wanted to get something out there and let you guys know what I thought of Warhammer Plus. And if I thought you guys should subscribe, I'd say yes. But I like 40k. I also like Age of Sigmar. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they come up with there. I'm a huge Nagash fan, so I'm really hoping they get into the weeds a little bit with some death-style content. So we'll see what happens there. Anyway, guys, this has been Phil, Yoshi's Painting. If you like what you saw, subscribe and hit that ring bell button. Let me know if you plan on subscribing to Warhammer Plus, or if you already have, and what your thoughts on the content so far are. Really looking forward to more of the Hammer and Bolter. I like the bite-sized little stories that come out of that. So we'll see what happens. But until next time, friends, keep slapping paint.